microphone is picking up the traffic on the street. I'm just going to switch it over closer to the string. There we go. Much better. Okay, so here's the lowdown on this 1949 Gibson L-50. We'll start at this end. The tailpiece had disintegrated, which often happens on these old guitars. This is a replacement piece. Now, these holes lined up and the pinhole lined up. I did actually heat this up and bend it a little bit to get it to lay perfectly flat to follow the curvature of the lower bout. I replaced the plastic pin with a solid ebony pin, just adding a little bit more structural integrity to hold that down. So that's just press fit, it's not glued in. This part of the tailpiece, really, the trapeze, is identical to the original one. Now, in order to guarantee the placement of that bridge, I made up this template, which Dave can just slip it in here to verify. And that puts the bridge exactly where it should be. Another thing to keep in mind with these bridges is this top piece will actually kind of pivot one way or the other. So I've got it so it comes straight off the curvature. It's not tipping forward, it's not tipping back, it's straight up and down. The original sculpting was surprisingly close. And as you just saw in the tuning test, this is exactly where it needs to be now. And once again, our template will always put us in the right place. Because of the neck set from the factory sort of set back like that, which is normal, there's quite a bit of fall off at that top end. What ended up happening over time is this portion here was sitting a bit proud, so I did end up dressing the frets in this area here to allow us to bring the action down to where it should be, and that in turn solidified the tuning as well. Now, in a perfect world, and when the day comes and the guitar is refretted, could be years from now, this portion of the fingerboard should really be corrected. But the beauty of the lay of the neck, where it is now, is when that time comes to refret, this fingerboard correction will give us the perfect trajectory from the first fret right to the last. This will not need a neck reset at that point. We'll be able to just correct the fingerboard, put the new frets in, and it'll be good for another 100 years. Gibson was still doing the tapered headstock at this point. So from the tip, it goes from 11 millimeters to 16 millimeters. And unlike the modern Gibsons, because of this extra thickness and a little bit shallower pitch, I've very, very rarely seen a break on this vintage of Gibson. I should mention too that this entire job was done on the XLT TechDeck. So there's our locator template, and this is our compensated nut. Well, for the first time since this guitar was made 76 years ago, it is perfectly in tune end to end. They're all negative values, and what I mean by that is the focal points on all 6 strings are beyond the end of the fingerboard towards the headstock. Okay, same progression, just a descending progression in the key of G major in all different chord voicing. So starting way up here with G, sorry about the traffic going by in the street there, but I think you get the idea. If I pick another key and do the same thing, okay, here's a similar progression starting in the key of D. So the whole point behind this is to demonstrate wherever you are on the neck, you can compare full chord to full chord, E major 9, so here's an A major descending progression, again kind of jumping all over the neck position to position.